Blitz. Call 256-576-4977 to make your audible for the Blitz.
That man is playing Galaga. Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
It's the Afternoon Blitz. Here are your hosts, Smokey, Captain Cool, and the Bandi Man.
Hello and welcome into a tipsy Tuesday here in No Man's Land. Welcome to the Afternoon Blitz on the Tennessee Valley Blitz Sports Radio Network. I'm your host, the Captain Cool.
Oh my goodness, it's
Captain Cool. Someone lose a grenade. Yeah, that's how I like to hear it. Make sure you guys find us online at theblitzsportsradio.com, on Facebook at The Blitz Sports Radio, and on Twitter at @theblitz_sports. And while you're at it, go and follow us on Twitch and YouTube at WZZN-TV. And heck, go get our app, The Blitz Sports Radio. It's on Apple, it's on Android, it's on probably Google phones. If you try hard enough, if you still got one of those, you just go and grab it. And you can listen to all of what we got going on. We got the recruiting blitz, we have the afternoon blitz, we have Army football, we have other things. We just have so many things I can't even keep count. Okay, there's so many. And as well, just go get the 97.7 ESPN, the Zone app while you're at that, because again, it's got so much more stuff, and it's the whole WZZN family all at your fingertips. It's great. We made it easy for you guys, so just go do it. If you want to join in on any of the conversations today, call us at 256-576-4977. We'd love to hear what you guys got to say. If not, just comment maybe on the streams, maybe on some of the social medias, and we'll get back to those. Maybe we'll talk about you. We'll talk about what you had to say, and if it was valid, we'll say if it's valid or not. If not, you might get made fun of. But, hey, it's all love here, okay? Make sure you guys know that this first hour is presented by Fleming Roofing and Restoration. They show up. They're very reliable guys, and they will get the job done for you. You're live hanging with the chillest crew in sports radio. To my front, the Smokey Mike Honcho.
It's getting hot in here. Ladies and gentlemen.
Wrong sounder.
No, that ain't it.
What's going on behind the studio?
Hold on, wait.
Joe Flacco.
No! Now you're just busting my balls. That's all you're doing. There you go. What up, Smokey?
Oh, well, it's a tipsy Tuesday, and I'm feeling a little tipsy right now after those blowouts of games that were known as Monday Night Football last night.
Pretty much just a show out for the Bills and the Eagles.
Bills Mafia is just, oh my God, they're intolerable.
Yep.
Actually, I take that back. They're wrestling fans, so I love them.
They're great.
I absolutely love Bills Mafia, and then you got, speaking of wrestling fans, Philly fans. Geez, Those guys, if Jalen Hurts keeps on doing what he's doing and the way A.J. Brown is, it could get not AL. I was going to say, I'm thinking baseball. What the hell? But the NFC East could be locked in within 8 weeks.
Yeah, no, it is. So far, what we got to see yesterday. First off, I want to say I saw the stat. They throw up these stats during these NFL games. 20% chance of winning the Super Bowl goes to the Buccaneers. 12% goes to the Bills. I don't know what they're smoking. Okay,
that's because of the NFC South.
I don't know. Yeah, well, still okay.
I mean, when you're in a conference with, let's see, the Falcons, which. Disrespectful, he says.
Oh yeah, we got.
No, that's okay.
Sorry,
I talk loud.
Hold on. Let's do a proper.
This microphone is way loud.
To the right of Captain Cool, the man who's gonna help us out a little bit while the Bandi Man is out of town. Speaking of Bandi Man, there we go.
Oh, there he is. He's right in front of me.
Well, yeah, he's
sitting
actually.
on stream.
If you see on the stream,
the Bandicoot's
Bandi's
right there.
I hear him talking to me.
But he is the one, the only. And he also joins me each and every Saturday morning for Smokey the Chad. He is the Chad.
Was it the Chad?
No! The Chad was great.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
The Chad's always great.
The Chad
man.
is most definitely great.
Should have cut out
today.
the middle part. The chat
But
was great.
I will say, though, winning 6 times of the amount that you put in on daily fantasy is always a beautiful thing, and that was a real help for, say, like Irv Smith Jr., who got himself a touchdown. Devontae Smith rebounded from that ofer in Week 1, getting 7 receptions at 80 yards.
Yeah.
That was huge.
Yeah, huge.
Very huge. And then also getting the Buffalo D because
Jeez. Dude, okay, so on fantasy football, I was looking at Tom's team. He was playing against Crawdad, who does the Army show.
the Tom.
The Bills were playing so well, okay, that in the third quarter, they took out all of their starters. All right, Josh Allen's his quarterback in fantasy, okay, and they took out them. And he pretty much had to scrape by with the Bills' defense, which was doing spectacular, by the way. They were causing fumbles. They were just causing ruckus. So it was great to see that. He scraped by and got a win. I was looking to be 1-1 with him, but yeah, he found a way to win, and it pissed me off. Continue.
It made you angry?
It was cool.
you know, actually, no.
No, when you can see somebody that you want to lose in fantasy, like you want them really badly to lose, oh, hell yeah. I'm going to definitely be like, oh, come on, the other team.
Yeah.
Score 1 more point.
I will say, it was cool, though, seeing the Bills
Score 3 more
defense get him there.
Kept it cool. The Chad's got a little bit of a West Neighbors booming voice right now. If you could just
Yeah, no,
slide
I got
it
the. I'm not even like talking into the microphone.
It's
Like,
tough.
They love to kiss the microphone.
It's tough. I can understand where Bandy's coming from. He's always adjusting this knob over
It's
here.
because
Look at it. It's all the way down. Mine's all the way up.
It's because that board controls this entire room. So like when you click on it, it mutes. Like, for some reason, like half mutes or something.
There you
it's
go.
weird.
Well, see, now you guys are getting a
Hey.
little inside look at what we're working
I mean, at
with
least
here.
you guys didn't have Matt Ryan though this weekend. Matt
Oh, my
Ryan
God.
was dismal. It was awful. 1.8 points. Thank God I had Amon-Ra St. Brown
I
and
got Matt
Jalen
Ryan.
Waddle and
I got
oh my
Matt Ryan in
goodness.
my money league.
Yeah, no,
That's where you need a good
jeez.
quarterback.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Well, it also hurt when you're trying to have a Jonathan Taylor
Oh,
and,
yeah,
Colts D stack.
That's another reason why I like in another league I lost was just because they gave him 9 carries. Who gives Jonathan Taylor 9 carries? Like
I
you
don't know.
Like what is wrong with you?
It is weird. Run the ball.
But
And you talk about he may not need a certain quarterback in money leagues. He might need just Carson Wentz because Carson Wentz has averaged 35 points a game, and I even thought about putting him in.
Well-
and I would have pulled a grumpy. I would have had 180 points.
Well, I play this money league is a little bit unique that me and my buddies have done like 10. We're doing it over a decade. We do 2 quarterback, 2 tight end.
Yeah.
And my 3 quarterbacks were that I drafted Derek Carr, Matt Ryan, and Dak. I'm down to 2
Yeah.
for a good
I
bit
think
of
you just
time.
get rid of Matt
and then
Ryan.
Well, my first pickup is Jimmy G coming on the waiver
Jimmy
wire
G.
because I'm first in the league in the
Italian
waiver order
stallion.
because I suck. So
I don't know what- yeah.
Chad, let me ask you a question.
up?
You are the Falcons fan.
Okay.
Yeah. You
loaded question.
guys almost exturbated or not exturbated.
What?
Nobody's doing any of that.
Nobody's doing any of that in here, man. Bunch of guys in this room.
Eviscerated the demons of 28-3 because the Rams were up 28-3 and the Falcons came to within 6 points of this in Los Angeles on the road against the Super Bowl champions.
I don't know what it is. It's like I guess that's why these Browns have championships. Like it's like being a Browns fan or a Lions fan, but there's no history.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there is a rich history
What
in
history
Atlanta.
does the Lions have? Let's just be
I mean,
honest.
they've had talented players in Detroit. It's just like it's like Atlanta. There's been talent. There's been history, but behind the city and behind the team. But it's like there's a curse. There's the old Tecumseh Sherman curse of you know what I mean. Like ever since the Civil War, it's just like that entire city has just been a curse. But you've got the Atlanta Braves if you're a Braves fan. But if you're looking at the Atlanta Falcons, it's just like every single year you get all these random like come from behind victories by other teams, and then the Falcons try to do the same thing in week 2 just this past weekend, and they're getting their butt stomped by halftime. And then they try to. You have to give them a lot of credit, though. This is a younger team. This is this is a new regime under Arthur Smith. This is a younger team. This is a more athletic defense than I've ever seen. You're missing your middle linebacker to injury, but yeah, this is a young team that's able to scrap and fight. And they should have beat the Saints week 1, but that was the defense like normal.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like, what is it? The defense. It was always, what is it? The defense or is it Matt Ryan? Now is it the defense or is it Marcus Mariota dropping the ball on 3rd and 1? You know what I mean? When you're trying to get a first down, and yeah, we don't know if Cordell Patterson or Algier would have got the first down on that situation, but it's just like it's the same issue that I'll tell you right now, and I'm not trying to slander Matt Ryan as much as possible on your show, but it's the same situation.
You can slander as much as you want, except for the children.
But it's the same. Yeah, exactly. It's the same problem. It's the same problem with Matt Ryan when Matt Ryan was there. They cannot score in the red zone. They can get a field goal occasionally, but they just can't get a touchdown consistently in the red zone, or just being able, like, really just the scoring, I would say, in the red zone is an issue for Atlanta. You had the fumble in week 1 by Mariota again that caused that whole situation, and they only got 3 points the very next drive. But it's like the same issue that the Colts are having with Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan can't get you points once you're in the red zone. It's really hard. If you don't have a mobile quarterback, and I'll tell you that's the one thing about Kyler Murray and like Tua and Jalen Hurts.
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson.
You gotta have him.
Or just a better mobile quarterback.
Josh
like
Allen.
Mariota is pretty mobile, but the thing is, it's like he can't get it there.
Yeah,
that's the problem. And when you get Kyle Pitts 2 catches,
that's bull crap.
It's just like, what are you doing out there? And you're just kind of like hoping that something like some magic happens. But that's the issue. It's just you can't score in the red zone. Your defense gives up points late. And it just seems like every single year, as talented, how many years have we said the Atlanta offense is talented? I mean, literally for over a decade. Yeah. And yet this offense that is so talented can't keep up with other offenses and gets absolutely stopped on third down.
Mollywopped.
That's the one annoying thing about going to an Atlanta game. When it's third down, it's third down. And then they couldn't stop a team on third down. It was like, dude, you got to stop playing that.
Over.
You got to change it up or something, man. It's just like,
I feel that, though.
It's just bad.
The Browns, they used to have, like, it's third down. They used to do pretty much the same thing. And then they used to have, like, the Halloween theme that goes in the background. And I'm like, when are we going to get rid of this? Like, we never stop people. And, I mean, it went all the way up to whenever they went 0-16.
And it sucks. And, like, don't get me wrong. I love Browns Twitter, and I love, like, fan bases that are, like, very into it, and they know that they're going to lose or they know they're going to win. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the Falcons fan base, they're clueless. The Falcons fan base go to the game because it's just something to go to, and so they show up for the game. Don't get me wrong. I've been through some of their, pregame and tailgating and everything like that. Don't get me wrong. There's some nice smells too in Atlanta, if you know what I mean. Like right next to police officers, which is wild. But you have no problem at all. So it's like you sit there and you're like, man, it's like, y'all are crunk and y'all are getting ready before the game. Then you go into the game and it's like you can barely hear.
So you're basically saying Falcons Twitter is like the complete opposite of Braves Twitter, because I see a boatload of Braves Twitter on my
Braves Twitter is the most petty Twitter I've ever been a part of, and I love it. I don't care, because a lot of times Braves Twitter, that's the thing about Braves Twitter, if they're not winning, they're like every other whiny fan base, you know what I mean? But when they're winning, the Braves love to rub it in your face. I mean, I'm probably one of the people that do that too. But I mean, the Braves Twitter is like the most petty.
Whenever the Braves beat the Mets,
anytime Timmy Trumpets can get embarrassed, there's always like some Timmy Trumpets like making fun of the Mets. Like, talk to David Moulton, and he's a big Mets fan, and he's like, I don't understand why Braves fans are so mean to Mets fans. And I'm like, because you guys suck. Well, like, you guys are so freaking cocky that you think you're like the world enders or something. And it's just like, you're one of the worst. I mean, like, you're the most chokiest franchise ever, other than the Atlanta Falcons.
If you want to see Chad do things on Twitter like he's talking about right now and calling out the pettiness and being extremely petty, you can follow him on Twitter at Gwatney Chad. You can follow me
a lot
at
of
Rose
petty
Scholar.
Twitter stuff on there.
And then you can follow the captain at CPT Cool 420.
Yeah, glad we got that out of the way. Now we can talk about Falcons football.
We got Charlie Potter, who covers Bama for BamaOnline.com. He's going to be coming up at 3. But I just had to get those particulars out of the way, so then we continue with this because of fan bases as well. I'm a part of a fan base that
a great one.
Yes, we got out.
Historic fan base.
We got rid of a coach.
Yeah.
A coach got hired, and then
mustard sales have gone up because of your fan base.
You're damn right they are. And it's getting to
I'm number one buyer.
This week is a bowling point. it has gone to an extreme boiling point. Like, there's so much vitriol and hatred ready to just explode. And if Tennessee beats Florida this weekend, and not only just beats them, just mollywops them, because right now that spread is going up. It started at 9.5.
Wow.
We're looking at DraftKings and Caesars posting it at 11 right now. Ooh. So it's only going up. It's going to be a lot of demons that are going to be exercised in this particular game.
Conjuring demons over
Yes, Neyland is going to be absolutely rocking, and I don't know. Honestly, if the next 2 games Tennessee wins, I don't know which one would be a louder venue. Would it be Tennessee v. Florida, or would it be Tennessee v. Bama? And if
Bama.
And if Bama still has their road issues like they showed at DKR.
Oh, Bama. It's going to be a problem. Is it a CBS 2:30 game too?
Like, it will be.
Yeah.
If it's undefeated.
Yeah. If it's, third Saturday in October, I think it's still like that time.
Now, I think that like the Alabama game is going to be popping. All right,
yeah.
But Tennessee actually has a chance against Florida. They're gonna destroy. They're
supposed
chance.
to. Are you
they're
kidding
supposed.
me?
Oh, they should kill them.
They're supposed to win. Okay, but it's like it still can be a close game. Tennessee fans are going because they know it's going to be somewhat competitive, but at the same time, it's almost a sure win for them.
And I'll say this as a Tennessee fan for you, like I think it's honestly the base. I mean, we want to talk about how, football teams winning and every single year always gravitate to other teams, and then they start winning and stuff like that, or they start getting better as a program. I think the baseball program being so great and just playing so well and just being like that polarizing team that you want to watch, that really, Tennessee fan base was already a crazy fan base when it came to football anyway. So, like,
you do bring up a very good point.
It really is. It just kind of rubs off on success. And so, like, yes, you're like, you're finally hoping for something, but it's, I get it. Yeah.
That's what it is.
And everything's cool.
Well, no. The thing with the baseball team that was absolutely just the stars aligned absolutely perfectly was the Vol baseball team was exactly how Vol Twitter is.
Yeah.
And the attitude.
Yeah, and see a lot of people didn't like the way that they carried themselves. Yeah, I'll say that the flicking off, the other team is probably not the best thing to do.
Not the best look.
And then, kind of being that, like, I do love, don't get me wrong, I'm a baseball guy, and I'm not an old school baseball guy that doesn't like bat flips and doesn't like cockiness around the bases.
Right.
Because it's like, that's the ultimate, like, haha, I basically one-upped you, is when you can crank one off somebody. Heck yeah. How's that any different than when the pitcher does like the and like throws his arms down after he, strikes you out on like a final pitch call?
Let me ask you an honest question.
Yeah, that's me right there. Come on.
You particular, Mr. Chad, have done radio in the production or hosting setup for
somewhat.
Last 4 years?
Yeah,
correct.
Four. Yeah, this will be 4.
In the last 4 years, how much talk of SEC baseball was there during the regular season compared to the last?
I'll say 2021. It would I would say we haven't really talked about baseball at all. When you talk about, because you had Alabama especially had the runs that they made the last 2 years, been able to make the make the tournament.
But Auburn making the College World Series did help as well.
I'll say that too. I would say even because the last time Auburn had made it was 19.
Yeah.
And we didn't really. I wouldn't say that we didn't talk about it. We did talk to Coach Thompson. Yeah, there were plenty of times. But I'll say the hype around Coach Thompson probably wasn't as big as it was clearly this year and the last year, I would say, than it was in 19. Because I think a lot of times. And I heard it great with Justin Ferguson talking about Auburn's situation, where it's like it's really good to be able to talk about a team when they're really bad or when they're really good, because people will want to know about it, more than if you're a mediocre team. And that's the thing about with Auburn. It was just kind of like, is Thompson going to get fired? Should he get fired or and it's just kind of like, can we think about that? Is that a great idea? It's like he has been winning, but he hasn't been really winning to he hasn't really been getting Auburn over the hump. Yeah, he's going to get to the regionals, but can he get past it? And so, there's a lot of that too, where you're kind of questioning it. And with Tennessee, the hype train. For the last 2 years, I would say 2021 is when we've really, and I would say that in ESPN too, like national. We've never gotten this much college baseball love as I've seen in years past. I'll tell you that. It's always like, oh, you're going to get the occasional ESPN2 college baseball game. You know what I mean? Or something like that.
No, this year it was boosted a lot. And the thing I will say, and this is not just like putting it all in being like this is Tennessee's the reason why, but it's a villain aspect. The better the villain, and we got the cleaning people coming here.
Whoa!
But it's, I've always said this with superhero movies, Captain Cool, that the movie is only as good as the villain. Like, the villain is the exact, standard of what the movie is going to be. Like,
the villain can really bring down a movie if it's, stellar.
If you look at Batman v Superman, did the villain let you down?
Of course. I don't even remember. It was was it Doomsday at the end of it or something?
Doomsday. But granted, Jesse Eisenberg did well as Alexander Luthor, and I would like to see him in the role again. The way they pulled out Doomsday was like, you got to be flipping kidding me.
Yeah. It was that end battle that was I remember watching it in theaters. It was the only movie I watched that was like a superhero movie outside of Spider-Man with Tom, okay? With the Tom.
With the Tom.
All right? So watching it with him, and he was just he was out of there I don't even know what the point is, who was the antagonist. It was just all over the place.
But then you also got the Batman. Completely different setup, but the Riddler that they had in the Batman just made it a whole new level, and that's why the Batman is considered a high-end Batman movie.
Yeah.
Now, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the first two Iron Mans did well, but they're not all-timers. They're maybe even lower in the MCU rank now because of the villain. They didn't have that one major villain with them, and that's what made the Avengers work, was Loki. So the Balls, being the villains in the way that they were for this particular college baseball season, just helped gravitate more eyeballs to the college baseball world.
Yeah.
And this is the same thing with the NFL. Who's great villains in the NFL? Tom Brady when he was part of the Patriots. Tom Brady is the Bucks. Not really a villain.
Yeah.
Who is our villain now for the NFL? Who's your villain?
Well, ever since Ben Roethlisberger left the Steelers, I mean, they were the villain. For me, it's a different thing because I see the rest of the AFC North as the villains, okay? Cincinnati, villain, always in my lifetime. Steelers, villain. Ravens, villain. I hate all of them equally. But when it comes down to who are the solid teams, who would you think would be the villains? I would say, I don't even want to say the Bills. They're so good but at the same time, you can't even call Josh Allen a villain. He's something about him. He's always happy and stuff like that. So he's not the villain. We're gonna have to figure this out by the end of the show because that's a good question.
That's one thing that we could just go throughout the show. That'll be our show topic.
Show topic
will be the villains, like college football. Alabama's fantastic as a villain.
Yeah.
Nick Saban being the villain is exactly what the rest of college football needs.
Yeah.
But the true villain is in the SEC would be the one in the orange and white. Wouldn't you agree? If you're a Bama fan. Mm-hmm. If Tennessee is good, Tennessee is extremely bad. Extremely bad in your eyes.
Yeah.
Just being they're Thanos. That's what Bama needs.
Yeah.
Bama needs another, they need the way that Auburn was,
exactly.
The way that LSU was, but now they're all, they're coming back. Harson's gone, but LSU, Brian Kelly's installing another set of culture.
Those villains kind of simmered down a little bit. All right, Auburn was always a big one, and then LSU was for a good stretch of time.
I mean, Jimbo, it was perfect until Appy State came through. Yeah. So
maybe when Texas comes, they could be the next villain.
That is good.
I mean, why not?
SC is also another one that could be a villain.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean Southern California, not South Carolina.
Yeah.
But anyway, Captain Cool, let's take a quick commercial break because we're expecting a certain particular host that has decided to take a vacation to give us a call for a little play-by-play going on right here.
Super excited.
So when we get back, hopefully, well, I don't know if he'll be here, but we'll see. The Bandi Man.
He's gonna be here.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. The Bandi Man's gonna be here. All right. Not here, but he's gonna be on the phone, and we're gonna be talking to him, and he's gonna give us the update on the
doing in Montana.
And also that we're gonna mostly be talking about that, but mostly everything else. But you guys are listening to that for Blitz. Don't touch that. Don't touch that knob.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. Or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
Bailey Custom Boats. We knew our boats were special when we would stop at any outdoor store to stock up on supplies for a boat trip, only to come back out to the parking lot and see people standing on and around our boat and a confused sales rep telling them it's not for sale and they don't even have that type of boat. Fast forward a few years, and now you can buy your very own one-of-a-kind Bailey Custom Boat. We hand-cut our wood from cypress we pull from the river in Mississippi. There's a lifetime warranty on the bill. Faster and more maneuverable like a ski boat, and better fuel mileage than any pontoon on the market. With 350 horsepower, a Bailey Custom Boat will go 0 to 60 in about 6 seconds. And our custom boats are Coast Guard approved for offshore and virtually unsinkable. We'll be showcasing our custom boats at different lakes over the next few weeks. Find out where at BaileyCustomBoats.com. On YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. We're taking orders now for 2023 delivery from April to May. You gotta pay to play. BaileyCustomBoats.com.
AVIQ. Who is AVIQ? AVIQ is audiovisual the intelligent way, where we put our IQ to work for your AV needs. With more than 100 years combined experience in audio, video, and automation, our team of experts is dedicated to one thing: helping you discover technological solutions that make your home special. Once you experience a game or a movie on one of our state-of-the-art home theater systems, you may never leave the house again. AVIQ can build the entire system for you or provide the quality components if you're a do-it-yourselfer. But AVIQ is more than just home theater and state-of-the-art sound systems. We offer a variety of control options for home technology. Energy efficiency, heightened security, and improved quality of life are all attainable through the automation of home systems. Intuitive and user-friendly control is our main priority in designing a system that meets your needs. Don't just take our word for it. You need to see it to believe it. Come visit us at our state-of-the-art showroom on University, just east of Jim and Nick's, across from AT&T, or visit aviqhsv.com.
Okay, Sarah, I'm dropping you at Emily's, and Josh, you're going to soccer, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, and by the way, when I pick you up, I'll be wearing my short shorts.
What?
No!
Yep, me and my short shorts doing my daddy dance. Your friends will love it.
No!
Well, I might change my mind if you buckle your seatbelts.
Okay, we're buckling up.
See, all buckled.
Whatever it takes, keep them safe. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. Still a place to call for your installation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on two services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatedwitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
Here's Bobby White from Woody Anderson Ford on their service department.
President's Award winner 2 years in a row. That's only given to the top 10% of Ford dealers in customer satisfaction. So we're very proud of the service department. And our body shop. If you happen to get into an accident, which not a lot of people just want to go down and see a body shop, but if you get into an accident, award-winning body shop. We have state-of-the-art paint booths back there. They're waterborne paints that we use, friendly for the environment. We've got our production system, the way things are in and out. We have the fastest cycle rate in town of getting your vehicle in, getting your vehicle out, and assured that it's fixed right. We take pictures before it's wrecked, and not only after, but we take it as we're putting the parts on. All done to above industry standards. So I'm proud of our body shop, too. Don't forget our parts department. So, if you happen to need parts, performance parts, or just parts if you're a weekend mechanic.
Woody Anderson Ford, located at the corner of Jordan and Sparkman, as well as Hughes Road and Madison. You can also check out the great deals at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
What is this, new? Is this some new stuff you added in here? Huh, interesting. Hello and welcome back to a Tipsy Tuesday here on the Afternoon Blitz on the Tennessee Valley Blitz Sports Radio Network. I'm your host, Captain Cool, alongside Smokey Mike Honcho, keeping the tracks playing, doing all that stuff. Doing a great job, actually. This first hour
Great job, my ass.
Doing great to me, at least personally. That's how I think. But this first, I gotta adjust that camera again. I think it's fine.
No,
but
you're looking fine.
I think I'm fine.
Where's Bandi though?
Oh yeah, Bandi. I guess since I moved him.
Why did you? There we go.
No,
There's
he's just
Bandi.
hanging. He can just hang on here. But yeah, this first hour is presented by Fleming Roofing and Restoration. They get the job done. They show up on time. They just do whatever
We
you need
show
to.
up.
We show up. I know. It's we all know.
But seriously,
that they show
honestly,
up.
if you also with Fleming Roofing and Restoration, they do good with the insurance claim process, and you need to check on your roof because you need to check your insurance as well.
Oh,
The
yeah.
insurance process with the homes, they only have a limited, or not a limited warranty, but a limited time that you could actually get your roof replaced and the insurance will cover it, which I believe is standard being 20 years. So if you have a roof that is getting near that 20-year setup, just give them a call, see if they can work anything with your insurance adjusters or insurance companies, and see if you could be able to help get a lower rate on getting a new roof.
Yeah, and with winter coming, I mean, winter is coming. All right.
And it's going to be a bad winter
you
for us in this Tennessee Valley area.
Got to make sure you keep the snow and the cold out. So obviously you want to make sure your roof is in top tier condition. But if you want to join in on the conversations today or create an audible, call us at 256-576-4977. And also follow us on Twitter at @TheBlitz_sports, as well as the Twitch and YouTube at WZZNTV. And guys, I say guys, I'm talking to Bandi right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've got Bandi right there in front of you. Yeah. Or do we have? Yeah, we do.
We have Bandi, yeah. We have Bandi, but...
you got me?
Hey, hi, Bandi. How you doing?
Why is everybody hot when I bring them on the phone?
I don't know.
That is ridiculous.
Keep them low. What's up?
Hey, I'm not trying to be hot on the mic, but hey, I'm still over here out in Montana just walking around.
What are you doing? That's what are you Kevin Costner now or in Yellowstone? Like, what have you become while you've been in Montana?
I think we made that joke already.
Hey, I'm not going to lie. With what I've seen out here in Montana, I've wanted to live out here.
That's usually how it is.
I'm moving out here later on in life for sure.
Oh, is that so, Bandi?
Okay.
Does Bandi know about the winters up in Montana?
He's going to find out. All that research, he's going to find out soon enough. But, Bandi, I want to get you on for the E-play-by-play here soon. But I also wanted to start with the story because, we've been on a little bit of a broken record type style of things, talking about Cyberpunk and all that stuff. But let's get into this real quick. You guys are listening to the E-play-by-play. Mute your phone, Bandi. Joking. I'm joking.
Let Bandi do what he does.
Catch up on esports.
Oh, yeah.
Play-by-play with the Bandi Man.
With the Captain Cool, by the way. Right into it, all right?
Does that sound better?
Yeah, it sounds great.
It sounds like wind.
We'll get you on after I quickly go over this. So you just sit tight, listen to the show. Okay?
You're telling him to sit tight when he's taking time out of his vacation to talk to us.
Hey, it's his segment, but I'm gonna create this.
You're
real
gonna
quick.
take
All
it
right.
over.
Let me go quick with this. All right, Cyberpunk 2077 is having a resurgence of players thanks to the Edge Runners anime on Netflix. I know. It's been very repetitive talking about this franchise because a lot's going on right now, and although the game's dropped as an unfinished mess that turned into probably the biggest disappointment in gaming franchise history or gaming release history, it got a little bit of a resurgence going on, okay? Over the weekend, we got to see 80,000 people, concurrent people, okay, playing this game according to the Steam, all right? And that's just Steam, so we don't know what's going on the Xbox front, all right? 80,000 people. That is the most we've seen since the game dropped back in December of 2020, the COVID year. And this has been the biggest peak since then. Can you believe that? Wow. Insane. Whenever the game dropped a million people hopped on just as soon as the game dropped. It was a very big release. Everybody was super excited to play it, and it turned into a very big disappointment. And I was a part of that. I was one of those million people playing the game, and I enjoyed it a little bit at the time, okay? But I knew that the game had some problems, all right? Game had a lot of problems, actually. But
hey, you hop back on the Cyberpunk train?
I'm hopping back on the Cyberpunk train thanks to the anime that me and you, Bandi, started watching, that I just started watching on my own, and I've flown through like 6 episodes now. I don't know if you listened to yesterday's show, but I kind of had an update on all that stuff. If you want to listen, go to the Facebook and find our show. Yeah, I've gotten through some of it, and it is still very good, very sad, but it does push me to want to get back into Night City. But yeah, it's with all the new expansions coming out, and then the big expansion that's coming in 2023, Phantom Liberty. There's a lot of reasons to hop back on this franchise and maybe give it another chance. If you didn't like it before, then maybe you'll like it a little bit more now. The game's a lot more polished, and also it just kind of, you got more of world building with the show. So now you kind of have a feeling of what you can really get yourself into. All right.
Are you done?
Bandi?
What? No, I'm still here. Like, I'm just waiting on you. I mean,
no, hey.
How long you're gonna keep going with the Cyberpunk thing?
Oh, I mean, yeah,
I'm all for it. I mean,
now,
I'll hop back in it too, but maybe when the DLC comes out.
Exactly. Now I turn it to you. You got some stuff for the play-by-play, or if you just want to talk about your Montana trip experience, I don't care. I just want to hear from you. Honestly, I've been missing you here in the studio.
I know. I mean, this is my last day here, and I can't wait to be back in the studio.
Jeez. Already
really
done.
on Thursday with y'all. But I do have a quick play-by-play story, and that if you're new to fighting games and you've thought about maybe giving it a shot for the first time, Street Fighter 6 may be offering the best tools I've ever seen in a training mode.
Okay. What we got?
So what they're doing, they're automatically inputting frame data. So you already know about your frames for each move, how plus and minus they are on block, and how they're going to be affected on hit. But what they're doing, they're combining it all into a meter. So you now know, let's say after a combo, you now know how plus or minus you are on your opponent's knockdown. Okay. So now you can set up more accordingly and set up your game more strategically with that kind of tool, on top of implementing drills that pros use to practice very common things like anti-airing, throw escaping, throw teching, footsies, outpoking. Like, they're implementing drills that you can just load up in training mode and do it like you would like a mission, like an NBA 2K or Madden.
Okay. All right.
So they are offering the most robust learning tool in a fighting game I've ever seen.
Jeez.
And we still haven't seen all of it.
So you're telling me that Street Fighter 6 is looking to be one of the most ambitious and just downright amazing fighting games ever?
It's only in the beta, and we may be looking at one of the best fighting games ever made.
Oh my!
This is history, everybody. All right, history. Street Fighter's back, baby.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about just purely learning and getting into fighting games, this may be the best tool ever made for it.
That's awesome. That's just great.
Bandi, man, I know we're doing play-by-play and all this, but Bandi hadn't been around since the weekend, and I wanted to see what he thought about the sports weekend, if that was all right with you, Captain Cool.
Totally fine. It's his segment.
Bandi, how you feeling about the sports weekend and what happened throughout? You had a nice little victory in the fantasy league that we're in, and keep on continuing.
Thank you, Lamar Jackson.
But what was your thoughts over the football weekend?
Well, Minnesota is just not good.
Oh, you were watching Minnesota?
Oh, yeah, he found that out quick last night.
Yeah.
Right? Tennessee's not good either.
we didn't have too much time, sadly, on Saturday and Sunday to really sit down and watch games.
Yeah.
I did catch the Texas A&M game a little bit, and I sadly didn't catch the Auburn game.
Oh,
but
sadly.
Brian Harson's probably out of there.
Oh, it's yeah. We're talking about not if but when.
Yeah. Sad though.
Yeah, his seat at this point is on fire.
Hot fire.
Hot fire. It's gonna be sad though, because I related to him. He's a car guy, all right, and I liked him whenever he was at SEC Media Days this year. It gave me a reason to not hate Auburn as much. But yeah, I guess he's out of there. So back to hating Auburn. Let's go.
Oh, get ready for the Hugh Freeze train.
Oh boy. Is that the rumor now that Hugh Freeze is going to be the new Auburn head coach?
Well, there have been a good bit of names that have been rolling around, but Hugh Freeze has been one that I've seen said more than others. And honestly, I think he's done enough time at Liberty to where he could be able to come back and have a little bit of good graces with Greg Sankey, just as long as he acts like a good Christian man and does not use the state cell phone for certain particular late night stops.
Jeez. Well, I mean, speaking of Freeze, by the way, what about Scott Frost? No.
Oh, he's done.
Yeah, I mean, he's already out.
I mean, we knew that since last week.
And Bandi could probably. I bet there's some Nebraska fans in Montana. It's close enough.
That is true.
I mean, if there are, I haven't seen them.
Oh.
Bandi, what else you got for a little play-by-play action?
Well, GTA 6. I mean, I heard Captain Cool did bring up the rumors about, the hacking that went down with Rockstar. But there was actually some new news that came out pretty recently that not only did the guy go after Uber, but the hacker is now being investigated by the FBI and the Department of Justice.
Jeez, I heard he went after Microsoft as well. I don't know exactly what he did, but he's going after a lot. All right, this guy's making a statement for himself. But what have you heard about all this stuff?
I mean, this is just, I don't know what this guy's motive was for leaking all this information, but thankfully Rockstar also did come out and say that these leaks are not going to affect the development of GTA 6.
Yeah. Well.
So, good news there.
We gotta be able to play our GTA 6 in 2025. The guy really got to show us a very, very early look at the game. And I did watch only a little bit of the clips. Bandi, I don't know if you got to see any of the clips from the leaks, but I accidentally saw some more. And I told you guys you can watch some, but maybe not watch all of them if you don't want to get spoiled. But I watched some more, and from the looks of it, I mean, the game looks pretty freaking good. Like the graphics, very realistic. The world just like, I think it's set in like Miami. Okay, it's what it's supposed to be, and I gotta say it looks like real life. Okay, the render distance and all that stuff, everything is looking pretty solid from what I've seen. So pretty excited about that. Have you seen any gameplay, Bandi?
Yeah, I've seen a good amount of the gameplay from GTA 6.
Okay,
but I just seen a lot of people dogging it on Twitter, saying it's like, oh my god, this looks really terrible. Like all these years of development, all this, like, this is what they got to show for it. It's like, yeah, you're looking at a very unfinished product that's probably not even close to pre-alpha.
No.
Of course it's not going to look good. Of course it's not going to look polished. That's the point.
It'll probably come out in like the middle of 2025, and I mean that's more than enough time to get the game like finished. But from what I saw, there were some things like very low polygon like graphics in there. Some of the cars, some of the people. That's all stuff that they're going to fix, whenever they're done with all the big technical stuff, okay? They can finish all that stuff whenever they need to, but right now, it's mainly just getting all the movements, the physics, all that main stuff, like how guns will shoot and all that stuff, what guns will be in the game, what vehicles will be in the game. Whenever they need to, they can just put skins over this stuff, all right? That's when that comes. It'll come in time. Still got like 2 years to play the game, so it's like... Don't be so bunched up and pissed off at the game developers. They weren't even supposed to show you the game at this time.
Yeah, it was nowhere near close to being ready to be shown off.
Yeah. Jeez. Well, what since you're on here anyway, before you go, because I'm not the play-by-play guy. What games have you been?
He is definitely not the play-by-play
I'm not.
guy.
I do the simpler stories where you go in depth about all the stuff in fighting and just esports in general. But what games have you been wishing you could be playing right now? Okay, and have you even got to play any games? Because I know you got that computer. That's a strong computer, and you got cloud gaming as well.
You know what comes out today, or what actually releases on Game Pass today, right?
I believe so.
What's that?
Bandi? We've been talking about it. I
know. I'm trying to remember.
Are we talking about that one shooting game?
Yeah, we're talking about Deathloop.
I forgot the name. I was thinking about the name. I was trying to get to it.
God, I'm trying to set y'all up for a nice little bump set, but I get no spike.
We talked about this.
I am not making any more contribution to
No, you did a great job.
Goodness. Well, Game Pass has got so many releases coming towards the end of the month. I mean, starting today with Deathloop. Yeah. So it's going to be Game Pass has got like 8-9 games that are going to be released by the end of the month.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot coming out, and it just goes all the way over into next year, and I'm super excited for that. But, Bandi, what games have you been playing over there in Montana, if any?
Well, let's see. I actually didn't bring my computer.
You didn't bring your computer? How are you even alive right now? You're focusing on Earth right now?
Yeah, I've been.
No. I know what
views that have been around here.
I know what Bandy's focusing on.
The views are very nice.
Just been playing games on my phone.
No, Bandy, let's all be real. This is what you've been focusing on.
Joe Flacco.
No! Gosh, dang it.
Oh
That was the least of what I thought you were going to bring up. I'm done talking about it. I tried.
Bandy, would you like to talk to Captain Cool about Joe Flacco?
Do you even know what happened, Bandy?
I do not know what happened.
Oh!
No! I'm going to have to bring it up to him, all right?
Oh, all right, Bandy. So here's what happened. The Browns were up 13 on the Jets with 1:22 left. Well, hold on. It was 1.5 minutes left to go. And then so the Jets score a touchdown. Joe Flacco throws the pass. Jets line up for an onside kick and get the onside kick. And within a minute of the first touchdown pass, Joe Flacco passes another touchdown pass. The Jets get the extra point to win 31-30 over the Cleveland Browns. So hence, Captain Cool has been getting
Joe Flacco
for the last 2 days.
It's not even funny anymore.
Oh, well, it was actually
part of that was because I couldn't hear all the sounder.
Oh, okay.
So I just hear
Joe Flacco. But
devastating
yeah,
game.
Your dad was not too happy with that earlier today.
Neither of us.
No,
Cade York, too. Cade York missed that field goal. He's a part of the reason.
I got threatened if I brought up Joe Flacco during the meeting that it was going to be bad.
You got threatened if you brought him up.
Yeah.
Jeez. Well, Bandi.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Bandi, I know you're hanging out in Montana. You want to enjoy those views a little bit more. You can join us tomorrow. Just everybody who's listening.
I think he's going to be traveling tomorrow.
If you're traveling tomorrow, then don't join us because I don't think you can call us while you're on the plane. But you know,
I don't know if I'll be able to call in, but I'll be able to listen.
There you go. Hey, that's all we really care for. If you want to, if you want to comment on any of the shows that are going on in any of the stations, do that, and we'll definitely get back with what you got to say, as well as the Twitter. You just tweet us, and we will definitely be looking at that. But Bandi, thank you for joining us today. Have a nice, safe trip home. When are you going to be back on the Blitz?
I will be back on Thursday.
Hey, so we get one show together before I'm out of here.
Oh, Lord. Well, at least I'll get the two of you one day this week.
Heck yeah.
Bandi, be safe, man.
All right, I'll see you all Thursday. Have a good rest of the show, guys.
See you, Bandi. Gosh, love that guy.
You sound so, dejected when we had to let him go.
I mean, it's just, but he's the guy I'm sitting here with, every single day. I know you're there behind the glass. I get to look at you as well.
You
but
can't look at me with the way the glass is. You can't even look at me.
I'm so lonely. I'm in this slanted box of emotions.
So lonely. We have to head to a break.
Don't touch that dial.
The Blitz has been called. This hour of The Blitz is brought to you by Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Online at FlemingHSV.com. You want the right specialist for your recovery. At SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, we understand every body is different. Your muscles and bones are unique, as is your body. Our SportsMed specialists offer innovative treatments and minimally invasive procedures, allowing you to quickly return to the life you love. Locations in Huntsville, Madison, Athens, and Decatur, and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Improving performance, improving lives.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
In 1982, Bob Baumhauer introduced Alabama to the Buffalo Wild Wing, and quite frankly, we've never been the same. Back then, it was Wings and Things in Tuscaloosa, but now, 40 years later, after 4 name changes, Baumhauer's Victory Grill is the #1 sports-themed restaurant in the state. Bob's Alabama Hot Chicken is something that has to be tried to believe, plus the new Bam Bam Chicken and the Louisiana-style Go Fish, a whitefish over rice topped with shrimp etouffee. And Baumhauer's is fighting inflation with some new affordable favorites. Visit Baumhauer's on the South Parkway today.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of the Stanton Law Firm. Stan, I guess you are the Stanton in the law firm.
Yes, Wes, that's me, and we started the Stanton Law Firm so that myself and 4 other attorneys with me can help clients litigate, negotiate, and creatively solve legal and real estate problems.
Now, Stan, you grew up on a family farm in this area and have made a name closing on houses and land with your closing company, Jacob Title.
I grew up on a farm which used to be in the country. That, plus having closed on so many homes and farms, one of my colleagues started referring to me as a classic dirt lawyer. Now, I didn't know how to take that at first, that tag, but I realized that's exactly what I do and what I am.
And I know the attorneys at Stanton Law Firm are regular listeners, and we plan to have you on periodically. You and I have seen have impacted this community.
Stay tuned, and you may hear about friends like Steve Booker, Clarence Johnson, Thomas Boyd, and even a few of those offensive line hogs like Hoss Johnson, and maybe you remember some other of those guys too.
I remember Clarence Johnson. He beat us one year. He was unbelievable.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Tom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
How long does it take to get to the forest? That's not far. What are we gonna do? Hike? Sure. Are we there yet?
Yep, it's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org, brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
The Blitz has been called.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Afternoon Blitz on the Tennessee Valley Blitz Sports Radio. This hour has been brought to you by Fleming Roofing and Restoration. They show up. They do the jobs. They get everything done for you guys. There you go. We got them in every single time.
They do show up. And Captain Cool, I got something that might make you happy.
All right.
I know this makes a whole bunch of Tennessee fans. This would be a lot of what Tennessee fans would do back in the day.
Okay.
But the Cleveland Browns, they are permanently banning a particular fan.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Who we getting rid of this time? And tell me it's what's his name? Something Todd or whatever his name is.
Well, this was caught by NFL insider Tom Pelissero, as he put out on the Twitter that the Browns have identified and planned to ban a fan who threw a bottle that struck owner Jimmy Haslam late in Sunday's loss to the Jets.
Jeez.
And then he's got the video of said fan throwing and hitting Jimmy Haslam. The suspect was identified as 51-year-old Jeffrey Miller, who hails from Rocky River, and then was arrested and charged with assault, disorderly conduct, and failure to comply. And said a spokesperson from the Cleveland Browns said that nobody was injured in the incident.
Well, I'd hope it's only a water bottle, but still, you can't be throwing this stuff. Come on. Well, I'm glad he's out of here.
Speaking of the Cleveland Browns, have you seen, I guess because I follow McNeil, I get a lot of, and McNeil, who came on the show right before the season started to preview the Cleveland Browns, and then a little bit of Ohio State, which we'll probably get him back on here in the next few days, maybe even a week. But the Cleveland Browns announcer, radio announcer, Jim Donovan.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of the videos that he's been putting out the last 2 days about and calling out the Cleveland Browns team?
Oh, jeez.
Because you know how some of the Cleveland Browns, Myles Garrett being one of them, complaining about what the fans were doing with booing this weekend and all that. He basically called out the team and being like, yeah, this ain't a one-way street there, buddy. I mean, the fans are going there. The fans are packing. The fans are loud. They're doing everything they asked you to do.
Yeah.
And then you put out that product. They deserve to boo you.
Yeah, and I mean, giving them the false hope that you're going to win a game, two games in a row, too. and then not delivering on that, especially because you had 1 minute and a minute and a half to go, and you had to win.
Hold on. I've got the audio for it. Let me cue it up so you can take a listen on this. This is Jim Donovan speaking about the Cleveland Brown fans.
I don't know what they expected. They expected to get cheered when they walked off the field yesterday with what happened in the last minute 55. Look, here's my point. To Myles Garrett or any of the other players that felt that they were really harpooned by the fans because of the booing yesterday, all right? You're looking for a one-sided relationship always, okay? You ask them to come to the game, and they come to the game.
Mm-hmm.
You ask them to fill that stadium, they fill the stadium.
They sure do.
Even through bad years. You ask them to be loud, and I can tell you, and I think Gerard can back me up, Tony's, hermetically sealed in the press box. I couldn't hear myself think in there yesterday. It was loud. You ask them to buy their jerseys, and they do. You ask them to be active on social media to get everybody revved up to the game, and they break social media getting ready for a big game.
Mm-hmm.
You ask them to come to the stadium early. Saturday night, I'm driving down to do the Legends Dinner for Joe Thomas down at the stadium, and there were cars lined up at 5 o'clock on Saturday to get into the Muni lot for Sunday morning.
Wow.
When you ask them to do all of that, they get to do whatever they want, okay?
It's true.
It's a one-sided relationship when all you want are cheers. You know what? If you were a Broadway show, after that performance yesterday, it would have been canceled today.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on that?
I think he is 100% right. These people pay money to watch this team. They love the team. I mean,
that's the Cleveland radio voice of
He's got a valid point, though. I mean, we pay money to watch these games. We pay money to get these jerseys and stuff like that. We give everything, okay? And us hardcore fans, at least, we give everything to being a Browns fan, all right? It is what makes us, all right? And to see this happen, and I mean, obviously you're gonna get some boos. It's just how it is. You just gotta make sure you come out next week and perform even better. They're playing the Steelers this Thursday night. And I'm hoping that the Browns can come back and show us why, we love them so much. They're the underdog always. They need to play like they are the top dog. All the way through.
That does it for hour number one. Hour number two is going to start with Charlie Potter of BamaOnline.com talking Crimson Tide football as they took care of business against ULM.
Yeah, they did. Got
Bandi. But honestly, we're going to look more into the following 2 week with Arkansas, too. But that is coming up next. You are listening to the Afternoon Blitz.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
What's better than Valley Equipment Rental? 2 Valley Equipment Rentals, and that's just what we have now. The original on the South Memorial Parkway between Drake and Airport Road, and their second location on North Memorial Parkway just north of Winchester Road. Valley Equipment is locally owned and has more skid steers, excavators, and lifts than anyone in the area, plus all the small tools that you need to get the job done like a pro. And if you are a pro, you need to check out the new North location now because Valley Equipment has what you need. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. Still a place to call for your installation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on two services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatedwitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
Do you have discomfort in your legs? Varicose veins can affect not only how your legs look, but how they feel. Symptoms of varicose veins include pain, swelling, aching, heaviness, and fatigue. Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville can diagnose and treat your varicose veins with the latest minimally invasive techniques. Diagnosis and treatment is covered by most insurances. Call 256-715-7151 to schedule your free screening. Go to bestveincarehuntsville.com.
This hour of The Blitz is brought to you by Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Online at FlemingHSV.com. Welcome to the evolution of sports radio.
You see, in this industry, just like in life, everything evolves.
Call 256-576-4977 to make your audible for The Blitz.
That man is playing Galaga. Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
It's the Afternoon Blitz. Here are your hosts, Smokey, Captain Cool, and the Bandi Man.
Hour number 2 is live and ready to roll here on the Afternoon Blitz on the Blitz Sports Radio. 256-576-4977 is the phone number to get into the program. Smokey alongside Captain Cool right now. You can follow us on Twitter. I'm at Rose Scholar. The captain's at CPT Cool 420.
Yes, sir.
Bandy's gone.
Oh.
It's
she said Bandy's gone.
Bandy's gone, so Bandi doesn't get any Twitter handles or anything like that. He doesn't get because who takes vacation in the fall?
I know.
Who takes vacation during football season? Not this guy on the Neighbors Wealth Management hotline. No, he does a fantastic job with BamaOnline.com. That's the 24/7 site for Alabama. He is one Charlie Potter. And Charlie, good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I'm great, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. The first thing I got to go, this is not going to be a big recap with UL Monroe because if you watch the first 6 minutes, it basically told you everything about the game. The offense, defense, special teams all scored quickly in the first quarter, and it's always a good thing when it's a nice, calm Saturday afternoon and a big 63-7 victory over Louisiana Monroe. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, well, looking after the game, reading our message board, looking at Twitter, people were still pretty upset about some things, and that's kind of crazy after a 63-7 win. But I think it was an all-around performance for Alabama. Obviously, the offense got things going first, but Alabama's first 3 touchdowns were on offense, defense, and special teams. So big contributions from the defense, special teams, especially in the return game. Had a big afternoon. I think the offense got off to a little bit of a slow start, but got things rolling later on. And I think they cleaned up some mistakes. Nick Saban said he was happier with how the team was playing from a intelligence standpoint. He wanted to see them play smarter and make fewer mistakes, and I think they did that. And they have a couple of games to clean things up that weren't working early in the season before hitting really a big stretch in October. And I think Saturday was a step in the right direction.
Now, looking forward to this Vanderbilt game coming up September 24th. I mean, you could say it's going to be a little bit more competitive, okay? Vanderbilt's doing better than ever. But what are some things that you see on this Vanderbilt team that might cause the Crimson Tide a little bit of trouble?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough question because Vandy has been kind of a bottom feeder in the SEC. But I think they're kind of trending in the right direction under Clark Lee. Nick Saban is very complimentary of kind of the culture he's establishing up there in Nashville. I think it's always a challenge when you have a mobile quarterback, and I think Vandy has a couple. I think anytime you have to kind of plan for not only a mobile quarterback but possibly 2 quarterbacks, that's a challenge. So that's something that could move the sticks a little bit for the Commodores on Saturday. But, if Alabama handles its business, if the defense plays well, if the offense can stay on the field, convert some third downs and make some passes or complete some passes down the field, then, I think this should be a game in which Alabama wins handily and gets to October 4-0.
Charlie Potter on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline with us right now. You can follow him on Twitter at Charlie_Potter. And Charlie, another thing that you do for Bama Online that I find very intriguing, and I just want to sidebar a little bit on this one, is you do a weekly Tied in the NFL recap. And one thing that we saw a good bit of this weekend was some Crimson Tide members or some former Crimson Tide members having some stellar games over the weekend. Who impressed you the most out of the former Crimson Tide players in the NFL this particular weekend or this past weekend?
Yeah, well, first of all, that is kind of a job in and of itself, keeping up with those guys. There's so many in the league. I think there's only 3 teams right now without an Alabama player on its active 53-man roster. So, but having covered these guys, it's kind of fun to see, what they're doing at the next level and to keep up with them. But it's tough not to pick Tua. Last week it looked like the Ravens were going to run away with that one. I think they were up 28-7 at one point in the game, and for Tua to lead that, come back to throw 6 touchdown passes, over 400 yards, really impressive showing. You got to be impressed too, though, with what Jalen Hurts did on Monday Night Football. He's off to a really strong start to this season. I think I counted 8 former players score touchdowns in week 2. That's the same number as last week. So a lot of guys scoring touchdowns. Amari Cooper had his first in the Cleveland Browns uniform. Good to see a guy like Irv Smith catch a touchdown pass after he missed last season due to injury. And I guess for the defensive guys, I think of Fitzpatrick. He's been a ball magnet. He had a second pick in as many weeks, and that Pittsburgh New England game was a lot of Bama on Bama crime with so many players on both of those rosters on both sides of the ball. So that was pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, I have to admit, watching Tua kind of hone in on his Alabama-like vibes against the Ravens was very nice, because I haven't seen a strong performance out of him like that since he played for Alabama. So it was good to see him, especially being the Ravens, which I hate. I just don't like them.
Well, okay. That's because you're a Browns fan.
Yeah, but that's other the point. And then Amari Cooper, he did do very well with fantasy score and all that stuff. He did very well. He scored a touchdown and all that. It was good to see him kind of finally getting his way on the Browns roster, especially the wide receiver position. But then going back to Alabama, okay, we're going to look at this kind of moving forward to a game that might actually be a little bit more competitive, is this Arkansas game. And what are your thoughts on this one? I know you don't want to look too forward, but this one's kind of the biggest one they're looking at.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a real test. And before this past Saturday, that was going to be a real challenge for Alabama, because Arkansas was off to a strong start to the season. I still think it's going to be a great matchup, even though Arkansas got everything it wanted and more from Missouri State this past weekend. But that's an emotionally driven game. Arkansas has some dudes under Sam Pittman, and one of those being Drew Sanders, who probably could have been starting at the will linebacker spot for Alabama this season had he stuck around. I think he leads the SEC in sacks. He's just been a tackling machine for the Razorbacks. But with Arkansas, KJ Jefferson at quarterback, that's a big man to try to keep or to contain, both as a passer and as a runner. I'll be interested to see just how Alabama matches up offensively, because I think Arkansas has 17 sacks in its first 3 games, so they've been able to get a lot of pressure on the quarterback. After these first 4 games, where is Alabama's offensive line? Have they, made a change at one of the guard positions with Tyler Booker coming in as a true freshman and competing for one of those jobs? Have they solidified that group up front to give Bryce Young time, but also open up some lanes of the running game? I think that matchup's what I'm most interested in, because this defense of Alabama's, if it plays up to its potential, it can be really special. And I think offensively, they just need to be more consistent. They need to be more physical up front. They need to make some plays down the field. If they can do that, then they can go into October feeling good and go into that matchup. But Arkansas, it's not going to be a pushover. That's going to be a game I think a lot of people are going to be tuned in to see.
Charlie Potter, BamaOnline.com on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline with us. And Charlie, one thing that I'm looking at statistics-wise is what really has surprised me is that Jace McClellan is the leading rusher for the Crimson Tide. But if I look at Jahmyr Gibbs, he's got 151 rushing yards in 3 games, but he's also got 144 receiving yards, making that number 2 on the team behind Trayshawn Holden. And this receiving core, granted, Bryce is spreading it out pretty well, but there really hasn't been a deep threat as it showed in the Texas game as well. So what, are we waiting for JoJo Earl to return? Are we waiting for Harold to return to see a little bit more of speed on the outside? Or is it a little bit of Bill O'Brien's play calling that is also hindering what the potential speed of these wide receivers are?
Yeah, I mean, I think the receivers are talented. They can make plays. It's just all of them are essentially new. Alabama lost a lot of production at that position, and I think Bryce has missed a couple throws. I don't think that's going to continue to be a thing for him. He's an accurate quarterback. He's experienced. Again, it's just kind of developing that chemistry with some new guys. It will help to get JoJo Earl back. It will help to get Tyler Harrell back, and that should be here pretty soon next month. And, Tyler Harrell was brought in to be a downfield threat, so they've kind of missed that to some extent because Trayshawn Holden isn't really that for this offense. I think Jermaine Burton can do it to some extent. I think, Bryce missed him on a pass this past weekend. But for the explosive plays in the passing game, that's something that Alabama fans have grown accustomed to seeing, and it hasn't really been a strength of this team up at this point. But you talk about the running backs. Jahmyr Gibbs has been a do-it-all player for Alabama, whether it's running, receiving, heck, even on kickoff returns. He had a big one on Saturday. I think he's just going to be a guy that gets a lot of touches in a lot of ways, and they're going to move him around to try to do that. But, I'm not surprised to see Jace McClellan leading the way in rushing. That 81-yard touchdown at Texas helps, but I think you could see last year before he got hurt with Jace, he was a big part of this offense. He was a big part of this offense in the passing game as well, out of the backfield. And to have him back and to have him as a 1-2 punch with Jahmyr Gibbs is, that's a benefit for Alabama. It's a luxury. And then to be able to throw in a Roydell Williams fresh, late in the game, that helps. So I think the offense, it has looked good when they've used tempo, when they've gone fast, when they've been in those 2-minute situations. And I think they're going to try to do more of that. I know Alabama fans will be happy to hear that and not see the game clock tick down to 2 or 1 second. But I think when they're in a rhythm, this offense can be really good. It's just, with so many new faces, that rhythm sometimes it's kind of hard to get into.
Charlie, just to swap over a little on the defensive side now, as Will Anderson finally got himself a couple of sacks. He's been not really being seen as much here this season as compared to last season. Do you think that's more so of the way the offensive scheme has been adjusted to a Will Anderson, and they're starting to do a little bit more of quick passes? Because as we're going into the stretch in October where you've got Arkansas, A&M, and Tennessee, I see Arkansas and Tennessee, and I see that they're going to probably Tennessee most definitely is going to be doing more of a quick pass setup to try and stop this rush. So is there going to be a little bit of is Pete Golding going to work some new schemes a little bit to try and help Will Anderson and company get a little more pressure on the quarterback throughout the season?
I think so. Heck, if I'm an opposing offensive coordinator, I'm doing everything away from 31 as much as I can. That being said, you would think if they're maybe going away from him, that would open up some things for Dallas Turner, and Dallas has made plays, but I think I don't think teams want to necessarily take the Utah State approach and just quick pass it to death, because that proved not to work against Alabama. But I think teams are going to try to neutralize the pass rush and not let Will and Dallas and some of those linebackers take over. That being said, with Alabama's secondary kind of coming to its own, guys settling into spots, even though there is still competition at the cornerback position, and that's going to create opportunities for them to make plays as well. So I do think that Pete Golding still has stuff, up his sleeve. They're not going to show everything this month, even though they had the big game at Texas. There's still stuff that I think they want to do defensively, even from a personnel and packaging standpoint. So I'm sure they have stuff that they've discussed, and even just after the first couple weeks with how things have played out, to try to get Will in situations to make plays. It doesn't even have to be Will, though. It can be Henry To'oTo'o. It can be Dallas Turner, those defensive linemen up front. We've seen some defensive backs, apply some pressure. Kool-Aid McKinstry has a sack. Some of those guys in the slot, Brian Branch, Malachi Moore, they can do it. So I still think there's things we haven't seen that they can do, but Will's going to get his. He's not going to have a lot of games like that Texas game, even though he had a sack, blocked a field goal. And I don't know if he's going to necessarily have a game like this past Saturday where you have a sack on one play and the very next one he catches an interception off a tip pass and returns it for a touchdown. But he's going to get his because he's just a special player, and the special players tend to make plays.
Charlie Potter on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline with us, BamaOnline.com. And Charlie, final question for you. In a perfect world, how would this game end, and what would we be talking about Saturday or Sunday morning?
In a perfect world, Bryce Young is 5 for 5 with 5 70-yard touchdowns. They have no interceptions, or not no interceptions. They have no injuries, and they don't really tip their hand in any way to do so. I think that's that, and then just the offense getting up to the line of scrimmage and snapping the ball as quickly as possible. I think that would be the perfect storm for Alabama fans. But really, what I was saying, just to be efficient, effective. The offense coming out, having a strong start, and to continue to do that over the course of the game. They want to be able to move the sticks, to improve their third down conversion rate, because right now they're sitting somewhere around 75th nationally, and last year they were, I think, third. So they want to improve that. So get the offense to sustain drives, to stay on the field, and to score a lot of points. Then defensively, contain a mobile quarterback, and get it out of this game unscathed from an injury standpoint. I think if they can do those things, and all of them are pretty attainable, then Nick Saban will be pretty happy after this one.
Charlie, let the people know how they can reach you out on the social and read your work.
Yeah, just over at BamaOnline.com. It's been a busy week from a team coverage standpoint, but recruiting never stops either. Alabama already has a commitment, and there could be another one on the way later this week. And in addition to recruiting, of course, we'll have a lot of the team coverage previewing the game on the site, and I'll share all my stuff and all that stuff as it pertains to my coworkers' work and recruiting coverage on Twitter at Charlie_Potter.
Charlie, much appreciate the time, sir, and we'll talk again.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Charlie.
Charlie Potter, BamaOnline.com, the 24/7 website for Alabama athletics, and does a fantastic job right there. Granted, I know it's Vandy. The spread's 40.5, but we do live in the state of Alabama, and we don't talk Alabama football. I'm trying to find Auburn guys, but they really don't want to talk about the situation.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to either. There's a lot of mess going on over
But
there.
hopefully we could be able to get one on tomorrow, as well as tomorrow we're going to have RJ White on from Sportsline, which we're going to be talking a little bit of gambling and the lines. Again, his strongest bet was the Green Bay Packers. And what'd they do? They covered.
Yes, sir. And looking at this, before we go too far away from Alabama, though, looking at this October schedule, all right, how they're going into that, playing Arkansas, number 10 Arkansas. Then they're going against Texas A&M, which is kind of a flip-flop from how Arkansas is doing it. They're playing Texas A&M.
Is good. This is the Saban Jimbo game.
This is, But then we got Tennessee after that. Number 11 ranked Tennessee, which they might be lower.
Going up.
They might be up. They might be lower. We'll see. Okay.
Yeah, you just imagine if you have a top 10 Vol-Tide matchup.
It'll be stellar. I don't know. When was the last time we saw something like that?
I believe that might have been 2005, if I remember correctly.
Jeez. But no, Tennessee's in a perfect position.
Because they weren't top 25. They weren't top 10 when 2016 happened.
Yeah. Now, but Tennessee is in the perfect position to actually upset Alabama because, again, there's a lot of tough games that Alabama has to play before they play Tennessee. They have two big games against top-ranked teams, and then having to go against Tennessee, who is not, it's Arkansas is 10, okay, but Tennessee, from the looks of it right now, they are looking like the more capable team of beating Alabama. So going to Arkansas, having to play against Arkansas at their home, and then going and having a home game against Texas A&M, And then going against Tennessee, I don't know. It's going to be a lot of worn down players. It's going to be a close game.
Actually, I do take that back. 2016, Tennessee was 9th when they played. So that was the last time there was a top 10 matchup.
How did that game go? I
don't want to talk about it.
Was it a shutout or was it a close one?
It was Lyle Allen Jones.
Oh, okay.
That's what it was. That was the year that Tennessee beat Florida. Oh, God.
Oh, jeez.
History is no. This is going to be different history repeating itself. But Tennessee beat Florida and Georgia and then lost to Bama after that 7 turnovers against Texas A&M. Basically, that was a time when CBS was known as the Vol Network, since all of October was Vols on CBS. And then, from Florida to Bama, it was every single week, 4 games, Vols on CBS. But then Tennessee loses to Vanderbilt to not make a Sugar Bowl.
I was at that game.
You were at that Tennessee-Vanderbilt game?
I was at the Tennessee-Vanderbilt game.
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, maybe. I could have been at a different one. How many times did Vanderbilt beat Tennessee in the last, decade?
Franklin was beating them like a drum.
I went to the first one, I think it was 2013.
I believe 2016 was 2017 because the Vols went 0-8.
So I went to the Tennessee the Tennessee at Vanderbilt game in 2013 with the Tom, okay?
Tom.
That was I think that was the first time that Vanderbilt beat Tennessee in a long, long, long time, because I don't follow a lot of Vanderbilt football. You know I don't follow a lot of Tennessee football, but to watch that, it was a great thing to see, because I got to see Vanderbilt beat Tennessee, and anybody beating Tennessee is good for me. But you know what? This is a different year. I have to root for Tennessee slightly, okay, just a little bit. I want a good game on the 15th.
You don't have to root for crap.
Hey, I'm not gonna be I'm too down on your team. I'm not gonna be that guy.
No, you're
okay?
the one that gives the backhanded compliments.
Every once in a while, but at least I'm giving you compliments. At least they're compliments instead of me just completely dogging on them the entire time. I don't hate them as much as I hate Auburn.
No, your old man's bar none the worst.
No.
He is the biggest Vol hater that I've seen in my life.
No, he's not gonna hold back.
Anyway, let's take a quick commercial break, and when we get back, because it's gotten a little hot in here, I need to cool down.
It's burning up.
Yeah, so you're listening to the Afternoon Blitz.
With us today, Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville.
When we evaluate a patient and they indeed have significant venous disease, most third-party payers, private insurance, Medicare, require us to treat every patient conservatively at least 90 days. Conservative treatment includes increasing ambulation, elevation of the legs, and the wearing of compression stockings. It's very common for folks to come see us in March or April wanting to have their veins fixed before they go into swimsuits starting in June. When we see someone in March or April, they're going to require at least 90 days of conservative treatment before we can even go to the insurance carrier to get permission to treat their veins. So if you think you have a venous problem, now is the time to come in and get a free screening so we can determine whether or not you need something evaluated. If you have a vein problem or you think you may have a vein problem, now's the time to contact us at bestveincarehuntsville.com.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
The safety oath. Repeat after me. I will safely bring safety to my facility and keep it safe. I will safely keep my people safe. I will put safety first in everything I do, and I will safely do so with Grainger. When you think safety, think Grainger. Grainger's got over 100,000 safety products to help keep our facility safe and our people safer. When it comes to safety, Grainger's got your back. Call clickgrainger.com/safety or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hello and welcome back to the Afternoon Blitz here on a Tipsy Tuesday in no man's land. You're listening to the Afternoon Blitz on the Tennessee Valley Blitz Sports Radio. I'm your host, Captain Cool, alongside Smokey Mike and the Bandi Man, who is hanging on my computer right now, even though he's not here. He's in Montana. This second hour of the show is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford. They do a great job with amazing cars at the cheapest of prices. You guys go down, give them a little check out, and maybe get yourself a new Mustang. Join the Stang gang, all right? I got one. My mom's got one. My brother's got one. My dad's got an F-150. Yeah, he talks about that sometimes on the sister station 97.7 ESPN Radio. But geez, I didn't get to get a lot of my stories in at the beginning. We had the Chad on at the first segment, so he got to talk a little bit about Braves baseball as well as some Falcons football. I mean, who's talking about that? It was the Chad. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff to go over, and I'm gonna go over all of it here in a second because it's getting pretty hot. So let's talk about what's cool.
It's getting hot in here.
Hot and That's a spicy meatball.
So it's time to cool down with Captain Cool.
You know what cool is?
What?
You're looking at.
That's right. All right, let's get right into it. Okay. We had a lot to talk about. First off, let me put my glasses on. Second off,
you put them shades on.
I put them shades on. The Bills should be, with no doubt, the only team who has a chance of winning the Super Bowl. If they don't, I'm going to be very disappointed. The Titans may just be that bad because they got absolutely demolished. Everybody got to see it. Titans fans, are you okay? I don't know if I'd rather lose the way the Browns lost or if I'd rather lose the way the Titans lost. I think I'm sticking with the Browns loss. I'll stick with the devastation of just barely being horrible instead of just getting absolutely destroyed. The Eagles looked pretty elite. Jalen Hurts had a stellar game. He was on my mom's fantasy team, and he destroyed me. Yeah, I lost to my mom. I know you wanted to bring that up, Smokey, and I'm bringing it up first, so you can't. The Vikings...
You lost to your mom.
I did. But to be fair, her team was a little bit helped by Tom, okay? Tom kind of helped her out. So
You always want to say that the Tom did it.
Tom helped her out, and you know what? She was picking players that were on the sheet, and they were all stellar players. So you know what? I'm going to treat her like any other opponent. I'm not going to be that sad. I'm going to take this loss, and I'm going to learn from it. And you know what? You got to watch out because Team 10's coming for everybody, all right? All those players coming for everybody, all right? You got a stacked team. Same with Cooper Kupp. I can't believe Cooper Kupp. He could have been on my team. He wasn't. Jeez, I just had to be the 8th pick. But let's keep moving on. The Eagles looked pretty good, and the Vikings looked like a bust of a team, okay? I told you guys that the Packers haven't looked good in Week 1 last year, okay? The Vikings beat the Packers this year, Week 1, and everybody thought the Vikings were going to be such a great team. Everybody thought the Packers were going to be maybe a little shaky, a little problematic. That's not the case, okay? Last year, Packers lost to the Saints, 38-3. Terrible. Yeah, yeesh. Then they go on to win the next 7 games, and then they lose to the Chiefs. All right? A valid loss. They won 7 games. The Browns could barely win 7 games in the season, but you know what? I'm not talking about them anymore.
Oh, my God. You say you don't talk about them, but you continue to talk about them.
There's a reason. Okay, until the Browns
Cleveland Browns.
Until the Browns beat the Steelers this week, I'm not going to stop talking about that devastating loss that was the Jets, but I'm not going to talk about it anymore. Okay, future Hall of Famer. We're going over to some hockey news. Future Hall of Famer and personally one of my favorite NHL players to play, Zdeno Chara. He has signed a 1-day contract, as some of these guys do, with the Boston Bruins to end his career after 24 spectacular seasons.
Has it been that long?
He's been he's been in the league a long time. Okay,
that's as old as you.
It's way older than me. Okay, he started his career back in 1996. Okay, when he was drafted by my second favorite team, the New York Fishermen, aka the Islanders. All right, which honestly I don't remember. I don't remember him being a part of the Islanders because I mainly knew him from the Bruins. Okay, but he was drafted for the Islanders, and then he went on to play for teams like the Senators. Whatever, it's just he had 4 years there. He had 4 years at the Islanders. That was his first 8 years in the league, and he really wasn't doing too much for either of those teams. He was just kind of honing his abilities to be the greatest player he could be on the Bruins, which he played his next 14 seasons with, okay, where he won a Stanley Cup in 2011 and became the first captain for the team since 1972, okay. Char played a total of 1,680 games, where he clocked 209 goals, 471 assists, and is known for hitting at 100%, 100% of the time. The man is a giant. Okay, I think he's 6'9". He puts people down. He puts people down. I mean, whenever your dog's not feeling well, give him to Zdeno Chara. I guess that didn't really work very well. Okay, he puts hockey players down. He puts grown men down. All right, no dogs. That was just me trying to create something out of nothing. Okay, last season he played was for his original team, which I thought was pretty cool. He played for the Islanders one last time, and then now he signed a 1-day contract with the Bruins, and he's calling it quits. He's done, and you know what? He will be missed because I played with him a lot back in when I played a lot of hockey. Okay, like the first game I played was NHL 2K3, and I remember him being a part of the squad back then. Even though he played for the Senators back then, I don't know why. I remember him playing for either the Islanders or the Bruins. I don't remember him playing for the Senators at all. Whatever. Okay.
You don't remember.
Sticking to some of these NHL players, yet another explosive player in the form of PK Subban has retired at the age of 33. He didn't have as much of a long season as Chara, seeing how he was drafted in 2007. It's crazy that some of these players can go for as long as Chara did compared to PK Subban, who is I think he's a spectacular player. He played very well for the Predators, and then he got on the Predators.
Got to the Stanley Cup final with the Predators.
Yeah, I mean
after he got traded from Montreal.
Yeah, for Shea Weber, which Shea Weber is a spectacular player as well. Okay, I loved his personality and loved how he dominated. He was one of those guys that you played as in the NHL hockey games, and he was a defensive player that scored nonstop. And at the same time, he could go and destroy people on the defense. So, I mean, it's another player I'm going to miss, okay? I wish he won a Stanley Cup. That was like his dream to win a Stanley Cup, but he never got it. It's okay, because he had a solid career, and people know him as one of the best defensive players to do it. At least I do, okay? But we also got Kyler Murray got smacked in the face.
Yeah, he did get smacked in the face.
I thought this was hilarious, okay? Listen to this, all right? He got smacked in the face by a supposed Raiders fan, and it was actually pretty funny. Why? Because it was quite the wonky slap, okay? It was a slap from the top to the bottom of his face. It wasn't across the face or anything. And I doubt anybody was really trying to hurt him. That's what I'm going to say, okay? I think when he went over to the fans, okay, he was all pumped up. Everybody in the crowd was pumped up. Oh, I'm looking at it right now. It just popped up, and the way he turns, dude. He turns with anger.
He's mad.
I'm seeing it right now. It's on ESPN.
I've seen it before.
It's hilarious. But
he's angry.
I saw it in slow motion. When he gets hit in the face, dude, he does a total 180. He's like, whoa, who done it? Who done it? I'm going to be honest. I think the guy was just flailing his arms around, trying to maybe pat him on the shoulder or something. I don't know. He accidentally slapped him in the face. Now, Las Vegas police is doing a little investigating. I mean, if somebody caught me after slapping a quarterback that's, worth how many millions he's worth.
$200 million.
I would just say, hey, guys, everybody was kind of getting crazy and stuff. I didn't mean to hit him. Even if the guy's intent was to hit him, I'm going to teach this guy how to get out of this. Just say, hey, guys, I didn't mean to hit that quarterback. He's just like, everybody's pumped up. Even me. Even if he's a Raiders fan, I'd be pumped up to see, a quarterback, in person, really close, getting pumped up with the crowd. Just, I love to see it. But, yeah, we'll see what happens with that one dude that slapped him in the face. Maybe he'll get suspended from Allegiant Stadium or something, which is the home of the Las Vegas Raiders. But who really knows? I don't know what his intent was. But, yeah, again, if he gets caught, if anything happens with it, just say, I was just trying to give him a high five, maybe pat him on the shoulder. Didn't mean to hit him in the face. Kyler Murray looked like he was about to kill the guy. Like he was about to fully sweep the squad in Call of Duty terms. Because, Kyler Murray likes to play a lot of Call of Duty. Yeah. So, and then I wanted to kind of cover up last night's games. Very wonky night. I got to go over to my brother's house and watch it with my my other brother and my girlfriend and his girl, whatever, And we got a clear picture of what teams are really good and what teams are the Titans and the Vikings. Because, wow. I watched this Titans game. That's the game I was kind of sticking on, Maybe the Titans could do something. Danny's a Bills fan, so it's like I'm kind of a Bills fan nowadays. Josh Allen, he's just the energy he brings, and he always has a smile on his face. Even when he doesn't even know that the camera's on him, okay? There was a camera on him for probably like 30 minutes last night, and every single time I went to him, this guy just looked so happy to be alive. Even if he was down, I feel like he'd have a smile on his face. But, yeah. I would too if I was destroying an NFL team like he did. Titans, though, they kind of just self-destructed, all right? Derrick Henry really couldn't get it done. They had plenty of bad muffed punts. Just terrible. They had so many different punt returners were in there. It was ridiculous.
Kyle Phillips did not have a good game.
Yeah. He was supposed to, too. He was supposed to. But
I will say, Stonehouse. No. That dude's got a leg.
He does. He was kicking one side of the field to the other side of the field. When they needed him, at least. Okay, when they needed him. Because Josh Allen was taking him. And Stephon Diggs, he was just going straight to the end zone every single time. Stephon Diggs had a spectacular game. Josh Allen just always is spectacular. I wish I got him as my quarterback this year. But I did not. The Tom has him, and he did a very good job at, playing the game. But at the same time, the Titans could have done something to where Josh Allen could have been in the entire game, and we could have saw maybe more than, more touchdowns than we got, because man was going in. And then Case Keenum came in, and then it was a preseason game because we got to see Malik Willis as well. And, yeah, whenever we saw him, I thought he'd be good, but at the same time, all we got to see of him is playing in preseason football and then having to come in a crappy situation like this. He's going up against first starters. He doesn't do too well. And then at least, the Bills started putting in their second-string defense as well. So then we just kind of got a full-on preseason game. But those Bills fans aren't leaving because it's just a party. It's just a party.
Damn right it's a party.
And it was, I would be jumping through tables, too, if I was a Bills fan. I mean, if my team played that well, I'd jump through a brick wall. If the Browns, I'm still talking about them, but if the Browns played like that, you could get me to do pretty much anything. I'd run through doors. I'd do anything to see the Browns play that well. Okay? Someday, it'll happen. Myles Garrett could feel bad about, the booing that he got. Same with everybody else on the team, but it's just what they deserved. I mean, Nick Chubb, again, do you think that Nick Chubb selfishly ran into the end zone? I don't think he thought the game was already done. You just walk into the end zone, that's more points on this board, you're not going to lose that game. Any normal person would score a touchdown. It's not selfish. They had the game in the bag. And then they lost the bag after that Cade York kick. And then everything just started going downhill, and I wanted to cry.
God, you're bringing it back up again.
I'm sorry, that one actually just came up like out of nothing, okay? Okay, that just came out of nothing. But
Oh, wait, I got a Hank Hill sounder for that.
Hank Hill.
Damn it, I forgot the time. It's been a hell of a morning, a hell of an afternoon. It was
It's all
too
right.
tight. This would be the perfect time for my unveiling of Hank Hill sounders.
Yeah, you'll
but
get it.
No.
All right. Well, continuing on with this this Bills game, okay, they may have dominated, but there was a very, very scary injury that came out of it that turned out to be not as big of a deal as we thought it would be because this guy's neck literally touched the back of his shoulder pads. But Dane Jackson, if you saw this injury, you would be, yeah. I saw it after I showed up at my brother's house. I got there a little bit late. I saw the ambulance on the field and stuff like that. I was like, what happened? Who got hurt? I was concerned that it was some star player. And, I mean, he's a good player, all right? Dane Jackson, he's a spectacular defender. But the way that his neck had to bend for his helmet to touch his back shoulder pads was it was like the guy was made of rubber or something. So I literally I thought we just witnessed the death. It was because of a tackle that he already had solid. He was already taking down the wide receiver, and then another defender came in and straight up just missed on the wide receiver and hit Dane Jackson on the head and just bent him. And thankfully, Jackson was released today from ECMC Hospital this morning with little to no lingering injuries, okay? Dwayne Jackson should thank the Lord for this injury not to just end his football career because people's necks don't bend like that.
No,
they
not
don't.
at all.
They don't bend like that. And I wanted to kind of continue on with actually, you know what? I wanted to continue on with a lot of things. But now I want to also talk about the speculations we had about the college football season. Moving over to that. Because I know you brought it up, Smokey.
Doing like a quarterly report?
Yeah, I want to do a little quarterly report to end off the cool segment, unless you got anything else you want to dump in. Something.
Well, the only other cool thing I wanted to bring in was in the actual world of puck, surprisingly.
Okay.
But the Nathan McKinnon deal.
Oh, yeah.
That his extension is now officially the highest in NHL history at 8 years and $100.8 million, surpassing Connor McDavid.
Wow.
By $100,000.
It's good to see some of these hockey players getting paid like NFL players, all right? It's good because I feel like that's one thing. Like, these players, they go through a lot. And a lot of people like to watch the sport. And I feel like they just haven't gotten the love that they deserve.
But Nathan McKinnon, do you believe that he is a player that is worth that quiche?
I think he is. I think he's a spectacular player, and I think that, I mean, for a hockey player, for a sports, just any athlete and stuff like that, to play at the way that he does, and to risk his body the way he's doing for 8 years, heck yeah. I think that's a great amount of money that I would be happy with if I was playing in the professional hockey league. Go off.
Professional. But yeah, let's go into a little bit of quarterly aspect. First and foremost, we'll just go through our Heisman picks or what we thought being the Heisman dark horse and let's get it out of the way because even on our sister station, Steve Moulton of The Drive mentioned this on yesterday's show.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. Right to the boss man. The boss man, the one that pays our bills, that signs our checks. He heard your dark horse pick of one Anthony Richardson of the Florida Gators. 0 touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
Well, now I'm not thinking that he is going to get anywhere close to that trophy, all right? Maybe next year. But, I mean, everybody had their reasons to believe that he was going to be some spectacular player. And after the Utah game, I still thought so. Now we know that Utah is not as dominant as they usually are, okay? But he's just not doing too well against other opponents that he should be doing better against. So I may have totally misjudged him going into the season. But I do think there's a lot of potential there. And maybe if he's got the right, I don't know, coach, maybe he can have a better chance at being the top quarterback.
He doesn't have to go directly to the pros yet, so he can have another year or so. But
He needs it.
So my dark horse pick was Hendon Hooker.
Okay.
It was a homer pick, but honestly, it still doesn't look bad.
No,
it
doesn't
not look bad
I
at
will
all.
agree.
And he needs a Heisman moment.
Mhm.
He still has 0 interceptions for the year. He needs a Heisman moment.
Yeah.
And that Heisman moment's coming up.
It is.
It is coming up. So
Very soon, actually. Sooner.
very much soon. Even this week could be, because you got the national scale,
Mhm.
the national audience of game day. You've got the CBS 230. But Captain Cool, if you would to change your pick as a, not say dark horse, but
Just who I think?
who do you think right now is your prediction to become the Heisman Trophy winner?
Well, I'm going to have to go with my homer pick, which is Bryce Young, but I cannot make that real choice until I see him go up against, the October schedule, because he gets to play Vanderbilt, all right, whatever. You should be beating that team. You have a spectacular defense, spectacular offensive line. You just have the guys to be able to beat that team with or without a good quarterback, okay? Then I think they're going up against, who is it, Arkansas?
Yeah, they got the Pigs.
They got the Pigs, and then they got Texas A&M, okay?
Yep.
Like I was saying before, this is where they can prove themselves, all right? If they go through this home stretch, or this stretch of games, this SEC, these top teams in the SEC type of stretch, if he goes through this and is solid in his performance, then there's no doubt that I think that he is probably 1 or 2 when it comes to the Heisman watch, okay? I think Hendon Hooker will get the opportunity to be noticed more than he is, but I think that Bryce Young is just he's a spectacular player, and maybe, just maybe, we can see our first he can have two Heisman trophies. That'd just be great. That'd be cool for Alabama fans altogether. We don't see it. First off, we don't see a lot of Alabama players getting it until as of late. But to see just Alabama's dominance in players and then just an overall team, I think it'd be spectacular to see Bryce Young be able to get 2. But I don't want to be that guy. Okay, I don't want to be that dude. So obviously, I can't fully choose him because that's just the main thing.
Right.
And then if not him, maybe Will Anderson, but he's got to show out a little bit more.
Will Anderson with only 2 sacks does not exactly scream Heisman Trophy material right now.
I know, but I think he'll start getting it.
That's the other issue with defensive players. Once they have that one big year, every offensive player or every offensive coordinator is going to be scheming against said player. Like Charlie Potter was mentioning, Dallas Turner has done well in helping out with the way that offenses are trying to stray away from Will Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
But you see the numbers right now. I believe he only has 15 total tackles in 3 games with 2 sacks and an interception.
Yeah. Well,
not world beater numbers. And when we get more into the Arkansas, the A&M, Jimbo doesn't know his
you don't know much of anything.
He doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground. And so I don't know his offensive play calling, but I'm looking at Arkansas and I'm looking at Tennessee, and I'm seeing Kendall Briles for Arkansas, the offensive coordinator, who last year they put 40+ on Alabama. And then I'm looking at Josh Heupel, who last year at the end of the first quarter had a lead on Alabama, but then the second quarter was just complete. And that's what Heupel has seemed to improve right now through the first 3 games. Those 2 games are going to be the ones that I'm going to be looking at exactly how are they going to key on Will Anderson. Because Will Anderson is one of those I would like to call a crowd killer.
Yeah.
And those 2 games being on the road, let's see how they work with Will Anderson and if Will Anderson could actually be a true crowd killer.
Yeah, I agree with you. Whenever it comes down to games where he needs to really show up, he didn't know that he needed to show up too much at the Texas game, okay?
Oh, but he sure did.
But yeah, and then, going into these next few games, these are going to be solid games where he knows he's going to need to perform. And although, a Heisman Trophy may be a little out of the picture, okay, he hasn't been performing the best in the first 3 games of the season, but, like we said, he will show up at these big games. He knows how to, set the tone, and he knows how to shut people up. So it's going to be nice to see what he's got going in those games.
But, Captain Cool, we are hitting that break time.
Yes, sir.
So what we're going to do is we're going to keep on this kind of little quarterly review conversation throughout the week.
Yeah.
But today it was just more of the Heisman. Tomorrow we'll get into the ones that we really picked wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did bad. I did real bad. Like, as in week 1, the playoff chance of that particular team that I picked for being in the playoff was gone.
Right out the window.
We'll discuss that tomorrow. But anyway, coming up next, final segment, which means it's the DF3. You're listening to the Afternoon Blitz.
The Blitz has been called.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
Guys, when we were 20, we never had to worry about spontaneity. And now that we've gotten older, spontaneity has been replaced with pills and injections. We're just trying to keep that intimacy, but it's taken away from spontaneity. At Advanced Life Clinic, we now offer GainsWave, which uses sound waves to non-invasively treat this issue with no need for pills or injections. Just give us a call, 256-888-9367, or check us out online, advancedlifeclinic.com.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
Take a ride, there's a party over there that ain't no job. It's live, it's all the way live. Don't even have to walk, don't even have to drive. Just slide, slip it, slide. Just forget about the trouble.
And welcome into the Afternoon Blitz, the final segment right here. You can follow us on Twitter. I'm El Smokey. You can follow me at Rose Scholar. You can follow the captain over there at CPT Cool 420.
Yes, sir.
You can follow the station at the Blitz_sports. You can also subscribe twitch.tv/WZZNTV.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube, just search 97.7 The Zone, and it will take you straight to WZZN TV to subscribe and get all the notifications of our fantastic programming with here on the Tennessee Valley Blitz, as well as our sister station, 97.7 The Zone in Huntsville, Alabama.
Clutch.
Yes, very much clutch. And then you can also, on Fridays, listen to the North Alabama High School Scoreboard Show, hosted by Scott Tyson and presented by Woody Anderson Ford at 8:30. And it continues all the way up to 11 o'clock on both the Blitz and the Zone. And also, get the Blitz app. Well, if you're listening to us, you probably have the Blitz app. Go to theblitzsportsradio.com. You can find some deals that are going on with our sweet deals. And also, half off. No, actually, this is going to be better.
Zone
Go
deal.
to 977ESPN.com. On the top left, there's this tab called Zone Deals. You click on the Zone Deals. You can get some of the greatest things that we've got for half price right now instantaneously.
Yes.
Some of these companies are like, yeah, you can get 50% off, but you're going to have to wait for 2 weeks for mail. Do you want to really wait for the USPS in the way that they go right now? Or do you want to have your coupon emailed to you and so you could print it out and immediately use it?
Yes, sir. And we got Cherokee Ridge this week, and then we have Flow Trampoline Park next week.
Trampoline Park.
Two spectacular things for two spectacular demographics. We got Cherokee Ridge for the adults, and then we got Flow for the kids.
For the children.
For the children.
Yes, exactly. So, this is final segment, which automatically means I must cue this.
Ladies and gentlemen,
the
DF3.
Oh, you just like how that is nice and deep, don't you?
It is.
DF3. I am really confused right here. I am trying to figure this out. And I've been trying to figure this out this whole time because I have been so engrossed with the football. And granted, the football provided profits the last 2 weeks, so I can't complain.
Yeah.
So I'm just like going through and trying to figure out if I want to do this classic play for the DF3 or if I want to do this tiers play. We're going to go tiers play. And right now, let's see, tier 1, I'm going with the Judge. The Judge in his multi-home run games, he is just rocking and rolling. He's going for 61. Let's hope he gets 61 tonight. Then we've got tier 2.
Man's going for 70, by the way.
Well, and by the way, Judge, I'm picking him over Jose Ramirez, Mike Trout, and Shohei. I prefer, and it's the Pirates. It's the flipping Pirates.
Yeah.
Anyway, tier 2. I am not feeling anything with the New York Mets, even though they've been on a roll. You know who else has been on a roll? That is the Atlanta Braves. So instead of Alonso and Francisco Lindor, I'm picking Ronald Acuna Jr.
Okay.
And then tier 3, I've got, Bobby Witt for Kansas City has been doing a fantastic job here lately. But he's going up against Rizzo and Austin Riley. And do I really want to go for it? Do I really? So Judge is hitting 1. Let's take the number 2, and let's go Rizzo. So Judge, Acuna, Rizzo is your DF3 for today. That's it for us. For Captain Cool, I am Smokey, and we will be back in 22 hours. Have a good night, everybody. This has been the Afternoon Blitz.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry